Hello, my name is Josh Hendricks, and now that Brandon has gone over some of the basic features of Dart, I'd like to show you a little bit about DartPad and give you an idea of how merge sort is done in Dart. So this is DartPad. As you can see, you just go to your web browser, type in dartpad.dartlang.org, and this will give you normally the Hello World program, but you can put anything you want in afterwards. So this is where your console output's going to be, in case you are also doing browser stuff. Your HTML output is here. This is where any compiler issues or warnings or other things will show up in this box. And this is where your program is. This is Dart, HTML, CSS, if you use any of those. So what I'd like to focus on is some of the syntax specifically. I mean, you all know how to do merge sort. So I'm going to focus on mostly the specific things that are close to C and what's different from C and Java. So classes are, for the most part, the same. Static keywords, functions are also the same. Types as well. Here's an example of the assert. Normally, if you run it through check mode, this is going to throw an error if this isn't sorted. And if you run it in production mode, it'll just run it and no change will be made. This is an example of the underscore. This makes it private to the library. Or in this case, Dart does any individual program as a library, so this is specific to anything that includes this program. So as you can see, the syntax is basically the same as C and Java. One thing to note that classes don't need the semicolon afterwards. That'll actually give you an error. So moving on to the main, here's just an example of an array. Show is one of the member functions. Merge sort is the class name, and so this is similar to C as well. And this is just to print a new line between, as you can see here. If we want to comment all this out, I can show you what it looks like when there's no output. So as you can see here, the array is unsorted, same list, and then it'll print this new line right here, and then sorting and printing it is right here. So one of the big differences from Java is that Java has static typing, while Dart has optional static typing. What this means is it's by default dynamic typing, but you can give it specific types if you're sure you want to use specific types, which is pretty useful for error checking, but again, optional, so you don't need to do it. There's no permissions keywords. Like we saw in the previous example, the underscore is used to keep it private to that library/program, and there's no public, private, or protected keywords in Dart. For Dart, like Python, there's arbitrary precision for integers. Java does, I think, 2 to the negative 53, positive and negative. So some issues can arise if you're trying to convert Dart code into Java code. But as long as you keep it within those ranges, it should be fine. So the arrow operator will take away some of the necessary writing when you're simply returning a variable. What it will do is, when you're instantiating the function, you do the function name, and then instead of the opening bracket, the function, and the closing bracket, you will do the arrow, the variable you are returning, and then a semicolon. The ... operator, or cascade operator, is kind of useful in that if you are given a function or an object, you can use the cascade operator to do multiple functions on it. It's similar to a dot operator. You do not have a semicolon in between these statements, and usually it's used after you return an object from a function. This question mark checks if something is null. Another cool thing about Dart is that it has assignment operators for nearly everything. For example, this checks if the left side is null, and if so, will set it equal to the right side. As is how they typecast, and is checks the type. So it cuts down a lot of typing when you're trying to cast and find out types. One of the coolest things, in my opinion, is how they do constructors. Because it's so common that we just take a bunch of parameters and set them straight equal to the member variables, what they allow you to do is just replace the temp, basically, you're getting from the user, and then just put this, and then the member you want to set it equal to. So the first parameter that the user gives you will will be what this member is set to, and then the second is member 2. The other cool thing is implicit getters and setters. So you don't actually have to type basic getters and setters. The Dart will actually generate them for you. And then when you are calling, like assignment operators and such, they actually will not, you don't have to create assignment operators. It'll just be using the getters and setters automatically. The SDK is pretty decent. There's about 10 different main libraries, but these were some of the more important ones in my opinion. HTML is similar to not quite swing components in Java, but it gives you the DOM for using HTML. Convert is used for JSON files, which are basically files that JavaScript uses. Async is for asynchronous programming. The main function you use from that is the future data type for stuff that is going to be updated in the future, but you don't know yet. And await, which is waiting for you to get stuff. JS is the JavaScript library and gives you JavaScript objects. It's mostly for like using already made Java things and then making a interface for your Dart program. In conclusion, there's a lot of programmer-friendly features that Dart has. Since the language is so young, some of the resources you see in C and Java, where you can basically Google your problem and it'll be there for you, not so much in Dart. You can get JavaScript equivalents a lot of time, but you are very unlikely to see a Dart-specific problem. It definitely has potential if people use it. One of the roadblocks Dart sees at the moment is only Chrome supports it, and they need Internet Explorer and the other browsers to support the Dart virtual machine. But it definitely has a lot of features that, if nothing else, will be good for future programming languages in development. Thank you for listening, and that wraps it up for this video. Thank you.